So what can we learn from this parable of Jesus that's only in the Gospel of Luke? And that is that this father's response to rebellion is as follows. The younger son got all of the money that was coming to him, and he left, and he went out and he did his own thing. The father, however, allows expression of rebellion. He doesn't force obedience on this young man. That has to come from the heart. You'll remember that the beginning words of the greatest prayer in Judaism, it's called the Shema. It shows up in Deuteronomy chapter 6, and the verses are, love the Lord your God with all of your heart. And we find this throughout the prophets, Jeremiah especially, that we're to love from the heart, from everything within us, not external obedience and base touching that really accomplishes little in terms of a real change of attitude and behavior. The father trusts God to bring his son back. He trusts allowing this thing to spin out. He gives the child enough line to be able to go out and test the world and find out what really the results of sowing bad seed and what the results of sowing good seed are all about. He allows this expression of rebellion and mutiny. At the same time, though, he is from the very beginning desiring the restoration of this wayward son. He's looking out for that son to come back. That's God's heart, and he never lets us go. He never lets go of us. His arm is always outstretched toward those that are lost, those that are wayward, those who have lost their way. His desire is always to see the wayward restored, and God will never give up until death. He never does. I guess that means that we should never either. In our prayers, in our hopes, in our actions, in our role modeling, we never give up on those who are wayward, regardless of the amount of time that they've been gone. This father also takes the initiative in restoration. We saw that in the parable. He was looking for the son's return, and then he saw him while he was a great way off. And then instead of making the son come the whole way, he goes rushing out to meet him, taking divine initiative. You see how this parable is a snapshot of everyday life. Everybody knows of some situation in some family in the village or down the road in the next village where this very thing has happened, and yet Jesus has now ripped this off of the front page of the newspaper and said, look, this is what God is like. This is what life in the kingdom is like. This is what Avinu Sheba Shamayim, our Father who art in heaven, what he is like. He desires the restoration of the wayward, and he takes the initiative. He takes the battle to the enemy. He goes out seeking after the one who is lost, who is estranged. Finally, there is rejoicing. There's not moping around. There's not a whole lot of interest in trying to down this guy for his bad decisions and keep on reminding him about the poor life choices that he's made. Instead, he strikes up the band. He's partying. He is rejoicing. He's excited that this one that was estranged has now been brought fully back into the fold. We can be assured that this is the way that our Heavenly Father looked at us before we were found and reintegrated or integrated for the first time into the life of the kingdom. And this is the way that he looks at others who are outside the kingdom. We should too. We should be adopting these same kinds of attitudes and perspectives that we see in this word video that are reflecting the nature of our Father who art in heaven. These are the sorts of attitudes that this Father of ours is looking for us as his sons and daughters to adopt as well.